Hello and welcome to game number 4 between AcE and Moon. AcE will be playing as the blue Protoss player on the left hand side, and Moon will be playing as the red Zerg player on the right hand side. AcE did put down one pylon directly next to the bottom of the ramp, and he is not going to build a forge or a gateway, it appears. He does have almost 400 minerals. He is thinking about getting that Nexus first. Nexus before everything else. This is a very ballsy move, as he does not have any building or any structures besides probes at this point, and he is going to do the pylon into Nexus. Very, very gutsy, and his opponent did put down 15 spawning pool and maybe thinking about getting an expansion as well, because he does have an overlord there and he did have a drone with that probe, so he knows his opponent has expanded, and Moon does have 300 minerals at this moment, and he could put down a hatchery, and it is going to be delayed by AcE with this probe, and he is dancing back and forth. The APM for both these players are absolutely insane because of what's at stake. AcE, should he win this game, will be the new champion, and Moon needs to win this game to stay in it, and he will be delayed about 200 minerals worth of time on that hatchery. And spawning pool has recently finished, and there will be some Zerglings, as this probe is going to go back inside the base of Moon once again to scout him out. And meanwhile, in the base of AcE, there is going to be a gateway going up, and AcE has scouted that his opponent has not yet gotten gas, and he will be leaving knowing that there will be some Zerglings chasing him, and he probably might not even make it all the way home, as this probe is relatively low on HP and he has quite a long way to go. He wanted to go in the smoke screen and go back into the base, but that is not to be. The first cannon is going to be opened up right here at the bottom of the ramp, and one assimilator is going to go up, and second assimilator is also going to go up. So the Zerg player, Moon, does inject and will be on one gas, whereas his opponent AcE will also be on 2 gases. There's a lot of probes and drones being produced at this moment. As we take a look around the battlefield, there's absolutely no offensive units for the Protoss player. He has only probes at this point, and he will be putting those probes immediately into those gas. Very, very good timing there by him. And his opponent Moon does have 4 Zerglings out on the field, and they're very nicely spread out. He does have 1 Zergling at this tower, another Zergling at this tower, and he also has very, very nice control of his overlords all around the battlefield at the pivotal points, and he has recently finished his hatchery as well. There will be a cyber core blocking the entrance for AcE, and he will be finishing this. It will be interesting to see what he does next, because sometimes he likes to do Stargates and sometimes he likes to do Colossus. We'll see what he's cooking up this game, as the income tab is going to show that the Zerg player is about half as much gas rich as his Protoss counterpart, and there is going to be the warp gate being researched from the cyber core. Metabolic boost is being researched for the Zerglings, and the Zerg player Moon will also be grabbing his second gas. There is going to be a Stargate being opened up by AcE. Once again, he really does like the Phoenix and the Void Rays. It has worked out extremely well for him in this tournament, and there will be the double queens, and those queens will be injecting those hatcheries non-stop. A third hatchery is actually going up at this moment for Moon, as he realizes he needs to get on a even bigger macro basis than his opponent, and AcE is checking around the map for any potential hidden Nidus networks, and Nidus was quite a nice game in the previous set, and both these players are macroing up very, very well at this moment. Harvester count at 30 and 34, 35 and 34. Army size is at 44 versus 40 advantage for the Zerg player, as he is going to be making lots and lots of drones, it seems. The first Void Ray will be chrono boosted from AcE at this moment, and he will also be opening up with 2 more assimilators. The hatchery is about 80 or so % complete, and AcE still does not have vision of this hatchery, so he does not know his opponent will be expanding. Warp Gate tech is about to be complete along with the first Void Ray, and 2 of those probes are going to be transferred to the new expansion. I suppose a second Stargate is going to go online, and I suppose this is going to be a very air-heavy game for AcE, as Moon is preparing more and more hatcheries, it seems, and he will be upgrading one of those hatcheries to a lair momentarily. Lair is about to be complete as a second unit. The Phoenix will be coming out, and this Void Ray is looking for blood, and blood of the Zerg is what will quench it. He is hopping around the edges of his base hunting for overlords, but the overlords are over here slightly out of reach, and we will see 4 gateways consecutively being opened by AcE at this moment, as this Overseer is going to warp in, and he does have a Phoenix. The Overseer is going to run directly inside the base of AcE, and the importance here, will he be able to find the gateways being hidden on the left hand side? And it looks like he is going in the right direction. He spots both Stargates, and he will also spot all 4 of the gateways, so he knows exactly what's coming. He is also going to be upgrading the +1 missile attacks for his army, and if we take a look at the vision of AcE, he still does not yet see this base right over here that Moon has recently got. So Moon's income is going to shoot up significantly. He is on average about 400 more minerals per minute than his opponent. And we see the +1 ground as well as the +1 air weapons being upgraded by AcE at this moment. And the army composition for both these players, there's going to be 3 Phoenixes, 1 Void Ray versus only 4 Zerglings. So at this point, Moon is actually much more oriented toward his economy than his opponent AcE is. And there's going to be also the +1 range for the Hydralisks, as a whole bunch of Hydralisks are going to spawn against a air heavy army of AcE. Some Overlords being shot at by this Phoenix, but the Phoenix has only gotten 1 kill, and those Overlords will be saved by the Hydralisk. And we could see that there will be an upgrade for the Overlord's speed, allowing them to move quicker and maybe not die as quickly to the Phoenix. But this one is probably going to go down, but it's going down very, very slowly, as the Phoenixes only do increased damage to light units. The set of destructible rocks are going to go down as well. Unit army counting station is going to show the Zerg player is ahead at this moment, as AcE is trying to catch up because the Zerg player does have the 3rd base, and the Protoss player is going to have lots and lots of Zealots. He has 8 Zealots and 3 Sentries at the moment, mostly going to be on the defense and possibly trying to grab the 3rd base. And at this time, AcE has recently found out his opponent does have the 3rd base, so he will need to expand or make a push relatively soon if he wants to stay in this game. Once again, AcE, if he wins this game, will be the new champion, and if Moon wins it, he will push it to game number 5. There are a lot of spine crawlers being placed in a very defensive position because he knows his opponent is going to have to attack relatively soon, and I think AcE is going to push here. He does have a rather nice sized army. He is going to push forward with a lot of these Zealots, but the Zealots are hitting the spine crawlers, it seems, and all the Hydras are doing so much damage to everything. Some Zerglings are showing up, and some of these Hydras do get picked up, but the Phoenixes are also getting hit as well as the Hydras. Pretty much even exchange here, I believe. Both players losing a lot of income, a lot of resources in terms of what they've made, but the key here is that Moon is going to be replenished much quicker than his opponent. He is also making 10 Hydralisks and 16 Zerglings at the same time. Army size now is at 108 against 70. Significant advantage for the Zerg player, as he will be getting the 2nd upgrades for his missile attacks. And some Phoenixes coming in here to try to snipe some Overlords and curb the expansionistic characteristics of Moon, and it has not really succeeded that well. And we do see the first robotics facility will be coming out for AcE, as he might be thinking about switching to Colossus play, as there are a lot of Zerglings and Hydralisks, and Colossus would do extremely well against them. And this pylon is probably going to go down. Income at this moment is going to be around 1700 to 1300. And there are a lot more harvesters for Moon, as Moon is thinking about grabbing the gold expansion here as well. Burrow, along with +2 weapons, is about to be finished. Actually, Burrow has recently started, and more probes are being pumped out at this moment. And AcE is trying to stay in this game. He does have a very nice fleet of Phoenixes flying around, but will this fleet of Phoenixes be enough to deal good damage to his opponent? He does take down a Queen as it was transferring, and now some of the Zerglings are running about, but he really needs some of those Hydralisks to defend, and these Phoenixes with very nice micro is going to run away. He does take down 1 Phoenix there, I believe, and he will be going away now. Army size at this point is going to be 130 about 100. And this Overlord does get sacrificed, but the Overlord will spot the robotics facility along the robotics bay. Great timing there by Moon. Very, very good sense of what's happening in the game. Robotics bay will be along the way, and Aspire has already gone down, so he will be given ample time to get some Corruptors, should he want to get some Corruptors. And there are a lot of Phoenixes flying around. Phoenixes once again hunting for Overlords or Queens. Will be able to find 1 Queen and also 1 Overlord. Will be able to take those down, no problem. And his opponent is not just supply block, but if he kills 1 more, he will be able to supply block his opponent. So AcE is climbing slowly back into this game, but he really needs to grab an expansion because his opponent is going to go on the 4th phase momentarily, as this set of Phoenixes are just getting lots and lots of kills at the moment. Army size is at 129 against 113. Closing the gap is AcE, as he's going to be making a lot of possibly Colossus. He has a lot of Zealots and Sentries that might not do horribly well against just Zerglings and Hatcheries, and Hydralisks, and he does know about the lower left-hand corner, it seems. No, he doesn't. He actually does not have vision of the lower left, so he does not know the gold expansion is going to go up, and some drones might be transferred to this new base as a pack of Phoenixes still trying to do some damage. A lot of Corruptors are going to spawn, by a lot I mean 4, and there is going to be the +1 weapons upgrade for the air units, and also the +1 ground upgrade, and Thermal Lance is also going to be researched at this moment. The fleet of Phoenixes are still trying to harass his opponent. Moon should really stop sending these Overlords to the standard rally point because they're just dying on the way there. And finally, he does move some of his Hydralisks over there. We'll be able to defend successfully next time. And there are absolutely no drones at this gold expansion, even though it's been up for quite a while. And he will be putting down some Spore Crawlers against those Phoenixes before he moves any more drones or Overlords to that position. And this is a nice, yummy pack of Overlords, but of course within it there will be 3 Corruptors and more Corruptors on the way, and this one Phoenix will be coming inside the base of his opponent and possibly scouting him out. But this is kind of abnormal play for AcE, I believe, because I think he should be trying to grab his 3rd base, but if he doesn't, he might be in some sort of a hole, but he will have a lot of Colossus to work with if he just waits enough. But of course, at the same time, if he waits, his opponent is going to have such a huge economy and such a nasty army, it might be really difficult for him to overcome. Army size now is going to be a 190 versus 160, and I think AcE does feel comfortable enough to push out, but of course, Zealots are not really the best things against Hydralisks, and he does have 1 Colossus, but against the army of about 6 Corruptors and a whole bunch of Hydralisks, that might stand too great a chance, as I think AcE is going to want to commit to an attack here. He does have an abnormally high amount of minerals as well as gas. Both these players are thinking a lot more than they're doing in this game, I think, and Hydralisks are going to go forward. He does have the creep spread to the middle, and the unit army count is going to show a lot of Zealots, not so much of anything else except for Phoenixes. And there's going to be 2 Colossus. These 2 Colossus are going to be absolutely key to this battle. A lot of Hydras are going down the front, but 1 Colossus goes down, and 2nd Colossus almost follows immediately after, and he does put down some very good force fields, but those force fields are preventing those Zealots from closing directly next to those Hydras, and the Hydras will be able to take it. Army size now is going to be 176 versus 95. The Protoss player AcE is not able to make as much unit as he can, and some of these cannons will have to get cancelled as he will lose all of them, and these Phoenixes coming over will be able to pick up these Hydras and try to one-shot them as he can, but there is a whole bunch of Corruptors, and Corruptors do very well against Phoenixes even though they can't really catch on to them. Army size now is at 180 versus 94. AcE is in a really, really big hole as he's trying to climb out of it. A lot more Stalkers are being warped in. Stalkers are relatively okay against the Hydralisks, but the Hydralisks do have 2-1 upgrades, whereas the Stalkers only have 1-0 upgrades, and the air is going to be 1-0 for both these players. As we see another huge encounter. Oh, this is a blunder. He actually flies in the Phoenix way ahead of time, loses about almost all of the Phoenixes. And I think at this point his heart is not really in the game because that was just really, really bad. And the Colossus is going to go down, and he is going to GG. Well, ladies and gentlemen, game number 5 is next, and I'll see you guys there.